a sex myth that I definitely still believe is that condoms make sex less enjoyable.
Why are you saying that and you know it's true?
That's my belief, but apparently that's not true. And also, some condoms actually.
Stop saying apparently. Have you recently?
No, see, that's it. Me, I'm talking for your.
Oh,
I'm talking for the masses out here. The masses.
Hi guys, Murugi Muni here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between.
It's definitely TMI.
Oh, right. Whoa.
It's been 2 weeks.
I'm so sorry.
It's been 2 weeks.
So sorry. It's definitely TMI. I'm kidding. It's definitely TMI.
Thank you. Now we are news presenters and this is news.
But you know, when I'm happy or when I'm feeling in good energy, I tend to sing so many things.
Which is crazy because you're not a great singer. You know it. This is not news to you.
I came to work and attacks is what I've gotten.
I'm sorry. But
no, I know I'm not a great singer at all. But who said you have to be a great singer to sing? Nobody. You're a great singer and you hardly sing.
Exactly.
What a waste.
What a fucking waste.
Exactly.
But where do you want me to sing?
All the time.
Where?
Like, even when I walk in, you think if I had a good voice, you guys would even hear.
I'll
be like,
thank God.
Hello.
God knew not to give her a good voice because it would have been chaos.
It would have been absolute.
It would have been chaos.
So that's why I'm singing, guys. We thank God that there's beautiful, more positive energy. Like I'm feeling more myself.
Yeah.
We thank God.
This is fantastic.
And yeah, we are back with another episode, guys. And before we proceed, we always have to ask you to subscribe. And guys, I know it seems like we're just beating on like the same point over and over again, but because we are here consistently bringing content through the ebbs and flows of life,
and just like
ebbs, but just to ask for a subscription
is
all we ask in return, just in return, because it supports us in a way that maybe you might not even know, you might not understand it fully, but us, we're telling you it's important. So whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, please do us the favor, the honor of subscribing to our channel. And also, if you're not following us on social media, please do. TMI Podcast KE, Murugi Muni, Lydia KM. This is where we usually put the question box, which we usually get the answers from, and it's how we generate a lot of our content, which we absolutely love. So if you want to be part of these episodes and you hear your view here, please definitely follow us on social media.
1,000,000%. Yes, agreed. Everything.
Everything she said.
Yes.
The personality hire.
Thank you.
That's it. That's the one.
That's me.
Beauty hire. That's it.
Done.
So today we're going to be talking about sex myths that we must stop believing. I must say, I was too old when I stopped believing some of the
or sex myths that we've all believed at some point. Actually, me, when I was coming up with my list, I realized, are these myths or do I still in some way, like, I know research has been shown that it's not the case. Yet somehow I'm just like, no, but really, maybe,
There's some which I never believed, but it's only because I got sex education so early. But many of them, it's like, we are still dancing. We're still dancing on do I believe or do I not?
Exactly. And don't you, sometimes when you're coming up with this list, don't you realize how much the patriarchy is still alive and well in our minds? Because it's like, even when I know for a fact this thing is not true, but like, just because I've grown up knowing it was true, it's just so hard to tell your mind, actually, no.
It's not. It's the hardest thing. Actually,
I
feel like that, changing your mind, truly changing your mind, I feel like that is the adult graduation.
Yeah, for sure.
That the adult graduation.
Allowing yourself to change your mind, by the way, is a very powerful part of adulthood that people don't tell you about. Sometimes it can feel like, it can feel difficult because it's like, oh, so that previous me was dumb. Right?
That's
like,
hard.
How did she
shed the identity.
That? That's really difficult. Yeah. And accepting that maybe you didn't know everything when you were in your early 20s.
And you probably still know nothing now.
I refuse to accept that.
At 50, we'll be like, what do we think we knew? We'll be looking at some of our episodes like, we thought we knew.
I'm even ask myself, like, now this outfit that I'm wearing, if I'm wearing this, will I, in 20 years when I look back at this picture, will I be like, what the hell were you guys wearing in 2024?
Don't go too far. In 5, because some of our episodes from 2021, I'm like,
You know, I don't look at those episodes.
Never.
I don't look at those episodes.
Don't.
But now maybe I should.
Don't.
Now maybe I should. Because to me, I don't feel like I've changed that much since we started. Do you think I've changed so much? Yeah, I don't feel like I have.
You have changed so much.
Really?
Drastically.
You first hairstyles, like from hairstyles to...
Okay, so like hairstyles and stuff like that is like, we were still in the...
You're okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
like
then...
views and like, you know, and just like even what we thought was great as far as how we created is just different.
Yeah, pre-therapy me, she's like, I don't know who she is. I literally don't know who she is.
A year ago, you are a completely different person, let alone 3.
And it's so annoying to be a content creator because you will keep being reminded about how dumb you were. How dumb.
I know.
Yeah, anyway, so that's what I do.
If it's any consolation, we do know how dumb we are. You don't need to remind us. You do.
Thank you so much.
Go on.
Yeah. Okay, so some sex myths that we have believed, or maybe some of us still believe, is that both partners in the sexual experience have to climax for it to be good, pleasurable sex.
Yeah, one I struggle.
Exactly. You see, that's a yeah. I feel like a lot of us, it's like when, especially if you grow up watching porn, you know that there's a point at which the woman will come and the guy will come, and the sex cannot finish without those two things happening. Like if you like how have we finished? You know?
This is the porn where they just get a wiggle and they're
literally
coming. Water.
Not a wiggle.
A little tickle.
Yeah. But how do they fake those?
I don't know.
Squirtings, because sometimes I'm just like, let's be serious. This
Sarah,
is pure water.
Sarah,
this is pure water.
Sarah.
Yeah, but I feel like now, having gotten more sex education, I truly believe that a sexual experience can be really pleasurable, and one party or both parties don't necessarily climax. And I feel like sometimes it's like, I don't know if people do this as well, or it's just me, but like sometimes you have sex in phases. It's like you like have sex. Then now it's like at some point you've paused. Now we're doing something else. Then we continue again, and like it finishes at that time.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just like in the throes of the way that sex happens.
Are you comforting yourself?
Yeah, I feel like that's true. And especially in long-term relationships, I feel like usually when like you've just known each other, this is the first time you guys are having sex, for sure you're about to come in like 3 minutes and like you're done. Yeah. But over time, I'm just kind of like, yeah.
You know, I believe this more when it's me who doesn't come.
Right.
Yeah, when it's me who doesn't come, I'm just like, relax. What's all this pressure to come?
I had fun.
Oh, calm down.
Also when he doesn't.
But when he doesn't.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
But is that yeah, actually you're right.
And maybe on their point, they might feel like it's harder for them to feel like, oh yeah, you haven't come and you enjoyed yourself, like why didn't you? It's harder because like we've decided, and that's an unfair thing that we've done, that when somebody else comes, it's a reflection on how good you.
But isn't it? No, but actually it's not, because you could do amazing.
Not period.
Yeah, it's not period. And exactly, and it's like maybe they're had a really hard day at work.
And I've had a lot of hard workers, and sometimes it's just not happening.
So what we're saying is that the myth we still kind of believe is that if he hasn't come, the sexual experience is not over. And this is only because we are both women. Maybe men would also say the same thing. Yeah, I guess so. They might feel like, okay, you can't convince me. So what we are saying is that his orgasm is more important than yours. Statistically speaking, that's what most women believe, because but the orgasm gap is crazy. We know we shouldn't. Yeah, the orgasm gap. It's maddening. Yeah, it's maddening. Yeah. Yeah. So what are we doing about us? Me for sure is I'm prioritizing my orgasm number one, and not overtly expressing my disappointment when he doesn't. Those are the two things I'm doing, and I feel like that's it. No, but you down, have to patriarchy. Down. No, for sure. And then there's also a difference. Because I don't want the pressure on me too. It's true. There's a difference between what we may say here versus vilaita kwa ground. Do you know what I mean? Ground, I'm saying it. I am not putting the pressure that I'm on a man that every single, in and out he has to come. I'm not putting that pressure. And I'm also being more conscious about prioritizing my orgasm. Saying when I haven't, even if it's a new partner, by the way, I'm doing that. Let's say, I won't say like the first time is like relax. It's like if we had sex like once, twice or whatever, and I still haven't reached climax, I'll find a way into the conversation. If we talk about the sex, I'll do it. And I'm saying that because I have. Yeah, but not like in a way of just like there's something I want to talk to you about.
No.
Just like,
It's like
oh
we're
baby,
talking
I
about
can't wait
sex
to
and I'll be
come
like,
for
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Or yeah, like we're talking about sex and be like, yeah, I haven't come.
That's mean, Lydia.
No, how is that
so
mean?
Ask
Ask yourself why that's mean.
Because like when a guy, like imagine a guy saying that to you.
But he hasn't. That's a fact.
No, that's not kind,
this
guys.
Exactly.
Listen,
No.
I feel like
with a man who actually prioritizes your orgasm, what he says like, oh, that's an invite to understanding me, which is exactly what happened.
Or is he hearing it as what I've done is not good enough?
The quality of now how you've perceived that is problematic. Honestly, the response which I got was like, oh yeah. It's like what could I do more that makes you want to come, like, and then that's when we started talking. I'm like, I will come when it's clitoral stimulation. It's like that's an invite. That's an invite to hear it.
I don't know. Let us know,
Here
guys.
You are appeasing the male ego.
Maybe no. I think it's because you see, I feel like people also who like into their 30s are still exploring sexually, whatever. I feel like you being able to have that conversation. I've never been in that situation that I would need to do that because it's only my husband that I have sex with. So maybe if I was in that situation, perhaps now
for sure
in my 30s, I would actually say that. But in my 20s, I for sure would never.
But guess what? We are trying to make these kind of conversations more common in our 20s.
Yeah,
we can't keep putting that age bracket that after 30s is when you have the confidence. No, baby girl, you're 25
now,
and you can have a conversation and be like, yeah, I haven't climaxed like this time, bro. So the way I climax is XZY. You know, the more we
for them not to feel uncomfortable.
You're projecting.
Wait. For them not to feel like bad about it or anything like that is me. What I would do is just like say it when it's like in a sexy way, so it's not like a I'm just letting you know kind of thing. It's more of just like, I can't wait to
the
come
conversation,
for you, daddy. Or oh my god, if you touch me like this, for sure I'm going to come. Something like that. Like, so it's not just like, yeah, I haven't climaxed.
No, he's the one who opened up about the sex. And I was like, oh yeah, I haven't come. I would love it. I would love to come.
Also, is it an unrealistic expectation to expect a man to know when I have come or when I haven't? Because I feel like I remember when I was having sex. Yeah, if somebody is just like, you think, because sometimes I feel like some men mistake you being super wet with you have climaxed, which are two totally different things. Obviously, I hope that we all know that. And I feel like if someone you're assuming that I have and I haven't, then I'm definitely gonna tell you. But if it's just like everyone here can see what has happened and what has not happened, and if you can see, then I need you to look like you care about it. If you're looking like you don't care about it, then perhaps I'll bring it up.
Let me tell you right now how I feel is that from the jump, I am making it known that I have a space in this sexual experience. Not necessarily like a conversation, but even the way we're having sex is like, you've got to go down. And actually, you know, it's like you got to take up the space there. Then it's like those conversations aren't that freaky. It wasn't even awkward at all. In fact, it ended up being like a woo. Like, you know, what?
Yeah. Okay, so
we are projecting that every single man has an ego issue with being told how to best have sex. That's a projection. It's not every man who's going to be bruised. They're gonna even take it as a challenge.
Yeah, I guess that's a positive thing.
Better.
Okay.
Definitely. Watch out. Your clip better watch out.
I feel like I would want to meet that kind of man. Maybe in my 20s, the people I was having sex with, they were not those ones. But and I shudder at the thought of even 25-year-old me being like, oh yeah, so it would really be lovely if you could prioritize my sexual pleasure and give me an orgasm.
My last couple of sexual experiences with men have been with men who care about your orgasm.
I love that.
It's real.
And it's important. It's important, by the way.
Joe is so scared.
I know. I'm scared for like 25-year-old me.
I know, but we're not there. And most men aren't there either.
And I'm glad.
Thank God.
And I'm glad that this new generation of 25-year-olds are people who have things like TMI, who can come here and watch and be like, oh, okay, that's something that I could actually say. Really, really important. Speaking of orgasms, Beducated has a course about the female orgasm. I haven't done it yet, but as somebody who had their first orgasm, I think I was 30 when I had my first orgasm. Is that what I've said before on this platform?
No,
I think
it is not.
Late 20s.
Yes.
Yeah, but my first self-induced orgasm was in my 30s. Yeah, crazy, right?
We've been through this and I'm shocked every time.
Every single time you're shocked. Every single time you're shocked. Anyway, it has a course on like orgasms, how to achieve an orgasm, how to achieve multiple orgasms. If you are one of those people who it's like maybe you're struggling with the language or like how to explain to him what to do so that you can actually orgasm, that would be a great place to
You're
start.
like Joe.
If you're like me, that would be a fantastic place to start for sure, 100%.
Yeah, Beducated has been the platform where it like they've bust so many of our myths in like you know what's acceptable, even what's important enough to have a course on.
Yeah, right. And I'm just like, in fact, actually, sometimes I go there and I'm just like, so
Yoni
this is things that
massage.
other people think about or like would want to know about.
Yeah.
Actually, it's very validating.
To be honest,
Beducated is very validating as a platform.
It's a big platform that shows me how important it is as a woman to experience pleasure and to be knowledgeable about my pleasure. Honestly. And in fact, I don't think I've explored myself as much as I think that I think that I have. Yoni massage.
Imagine.
There's a course for you to be able to do that. You know, we've come here before with Beducated. We work with them consistently because they offer value that we can't even articulate. We're just so happy to be able to work with them. And as usual, we have a discount code for you, TMI Podcast. But to spice things up, if you're watching this still in April, it's 50% off
if you use
your
our
annual
code.
subscription. Yes, TMI Podcast is the code. If you use our code, you get 50% off your annual subscription. After that, it will be the usual 40%, and that discount is locked for life.
For life,
yes.
If you've never heard us talk about Beducated, it's basically like the Netflix of sex, where you go and you see like an entire course about one particular topic. Literally, think about just orgasm, a whole course about the orgasm. So much that we could learn from there. Like, imagine how much greater sex you could have had even in your early 20s if you had something like Beducated.
For sure. I just think my early 20s, I didn't know my body.
Yeah.
Like, most of us, I guess.
Me, I feel like, I didn't know, and also I wasn't comfortable enough in my body. And I just feel like half of sex is being comfortable, like being confident in like what you're bringing to the table or to the bed. Yeah. So because I didn't have that, I imagine that it would have been so much easier if I had Beducated. But basically, you just get courses about different topics, from like massages to like eroticism to specific things like BDSM and being in kinkiness to more broad things like relationships and online dating and things like that. There's video courses. There's some which are audio. There's some which is just like written down and you get to read. And sometimes the number of times I'm on my phone like this and I'm looking like, because I'm just trying to establish. So this is the position. Yeah, but different from porn because it's not intended to make you horny, although it does.
It does. It
definitely
does. Not the intention. I'm supposed to be looking at this as educational material. However,
you're supposed to be learning.
Things are happening. What am I going to do?
That's the thing. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, if you're one of those people who struggle with an orgasm, check out the course on female orgasms. Yeah. I think another myth that actually I grew up thinking is just like an orgasm is just, it's something which just like happens to just like, it just happens.
If you thrust enough.
Yeah, exactly, right? And it's just like, it'll just come. I didn't realize how many factors like come together to make the orgasm. Mentally, am I there? If mentally I'm there laying thinking, so have I now come? Is he having fun? Am I having fun? Wait, how is it? Then it's like definitely it's not gonna come, kind of thing.
It's true. And for those of you who don't necessarily want to commit like straight off the bat, you just want to check Beducated out first. Yeah. You get 24 hours to just browse through the courses, see what you like, what you don't like, see what it's really essentially about before you commit. And after you commit, you get 14-day back money guarantee. We know no one returns the money. We know. Like, and that's why they're giving you that much space. But yes, it's just so valuable.
Exactly.
So this is a sex myth, which, by the way, I was today years old when I stopped believing. Sex burns a ton of calories and can help you with weight loss.
That's factual. That's factual, and there's nothing you can. You're trying to. In fact, sometimes you're a liar. Sometimes you're a liar because there's no way you can convince me that me bouncing up and down for 10 full minutes I've not lost something. That's like squatting.
No, let me tell you, it's not that you don't, right? However, we imagine we are having sex far, far longer than we actually have. You come out and you sweat a bit and you're like, yeah. However, at the gym, you were there for 2 hours. And really, how much did you burn? So the idea, because you're sweating or there's some activity going on, that you're somehow losing so much calories and you're burning so much, it cannot be your exercise routine, babe. It's not part of your fitness. It's
Even
not.
if you're doing 3 times a
Don't-
day, morning to night, 3 times
How
a day.
many people are actually doing that? The average
for 30
person
minutes
is
each.
having sex maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
You're right, actually.
5 to 10 minutes, and no, they're not bouncing anywhere.
What is the
They're
average
led
length
there.
of my current sexual experience? You're right. 5 to 10 minutes, yeah.
5 to 10 minutes.
Even 10 you are
So
stretching.
now you get out.
10
and it's
actually
like,
we are
whoa,
stretching, yeah.
the 3 burgers I ate are down.
Actually, the reason you're sweating is not even that you've done so much work. It's just first, we're in the blanket. It's hot.
It's hot. We're
You're
in a
lying on
closed,
top of me.
impacted room. This hot gorilla is on you too. It's mostly his sweat, babe.
Hey, don't talk about my gorilla like
Whoa,
that.
whoa, whoa, who's talking about your gorilla? Whoa!
I don't, is
whoa,
there another?
whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
it's my
whoa,
gorilla.
whoa.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Please. Yeah, you're right, actually. Okay, so we're not burning.
No, we're not burning half as much calories as we think we are. There are some sex sessions for sure.
That's
Yes.
yeah.
But how
actually, the long ones.
often? How often are those?
If you go for round 2 and 3, which are the ones which tend to last longer than round 1. Round 1 is just like literally 5 to 10. Round 2 and 3, I feel like can last even like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But like,
Babe, stop you saying sex is your exercise routine.
There's actually one time that I saw a statistic that when a man ejaculates, it's equivalent to him having run 7 kilometers, which is obviously absolute bollocks.
Yeah.
Now
please,
I
guys,
realize that.
Sex is not burning as much fat. It's not keeping you as fit as you think. It is a good way. No, keep it. Keep going.
doing.
Keep bouncing. Keep bouncing, Tracy. Do it. But it cannot be this thing that we keep sharing with each other about how, oh, I haven't worked out in a month. But yeah, I've had sex. The
Right,
sex you
yeah.
are let down like a starfish, Sarah.
Maybe she was doing like
You
up,
burnt
down,
nothing.
up, down kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. A sex myth that I believed for a long time is that sex can only be really good when you're single and you have multiple sexual partners, as opposed to when you're in a long-term committed relationship.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like there's definitely.
Let me just
Oh,
give.
go ahead.
I still think that the way you talk about single sex versus marriage sex, it's a clear. There's a way that you think about
Which
both.
is what- yeah,
because sex
yeah.
is like more like the excitement and the heat.
Yeah, and
That's
the
what you
heat.
tend to think good sex is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which actually is just like, no, I've come to redefine what good sex is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's definitely there's a spice to like new sex. Like this is a new sexual partner. You have amazing sexual
always say
chemistry.
that.
You've never done it before, and it's just like it's amazing. There's a really nice aspect of that, but there's also an equally nice but in a different way of being with someone who knows your body, who you know each other, who you have deep love connection with. And I feel like I've come to appreciate that one because I've needed to, obviously, because I'm married
have a
and
choice.
I exactly but I've come to realize that I think it's phenomenal, in some ways actually even better than the single sex, but just in a different way. So I feel like the more that you as a couple keep growing, you can still have the phenomenal sex, but it's just like now we have to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
So when I am intentional, doing things like watching Beducated, suggesting new things, we are going on holiday, you're
Yeah.
keeping it sexy, not just every day Kimbo blue band shirt,
yeah.
sometimes lingerie, sometimes like it's like it requires a bit more effort, but can be equally if not more rewarding.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it's the difference between a long-term relationship period
Yeah.
and few lots relationships.
Yeah.
One of them is definitely you're going to get the newness and the mystery
It's
and
like
the
spike.
intrigue, and there's like this passion somewhat.
Yeah.
However, another one is depth.
Exactly.
That depth
Depth,
has value too. Like,
Yeah.
even being known by someone that way. I actually don't think I see like that difference that you see. I feel like as long as I'm being myself, I can have this like incredible sexual experience. But what I tend to feel is that with somebody who I know, I'm less inhibited. So
Yeah.
for me, sex in a relationship has always been a lot better.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
maybe get married first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
But
marriage
I
that
feel
kills
like
it?
I wouldn't say marriage necessarily. I just feel like the more life stuff there is between the two of you, the less the other person is purely just like, you see, when you're dating, it's kind of like when we meet, it's just about us and it's just about having fun and it's just about loving each other. The life stuff is not really there. So this one of like in between of, did you call the
It's the kids.
guy? Yeah, the
It's
kids,
the kids that changes it.
the home, now investments, work. Like now it's like, I feel like as you get older, there's like other responsibilities which are really, really big responsibilities. In that now this part partner is not only just your love interest or your sexual partner, they're also your investment partner. They're also your co-parent. They're also, the person who was responsible for fixing the electricity and they did it. It's like now it's difficult to isolate them as just my sexual partner.
you've always said that. Yeah.
But I feel like with intentionality, it's possible. If you put it in your mind, it's like now we are in the bed and now it's just like this is just Zach, my lover, the person who I am absolutely obsessed with, as opposed to like Zach, the person who didn't add pressure in my tires, Zach, the person who needs to make sure he drops the kids on time tomorrow. It's just like we're just here, just me and you. But requires you to be intentional for sure.
Okay, married people, tell us.
Let us know.
Have you felt that difference, or how do you guys keep it intentional? What have you been adding to spice things up, or is it just a difference you've accepted and it's great as it is? Let us know in the comments below if you're watching us on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that was mine.
Oh, yeah? Okay, fine. Another one that I still struggle to conceptualize is that you can't, once you're pregnant, like now you had sex and you get pregnant, periods are the evidence that you're not pregnant.
Isn't that the case?
No.
Why do you keep hitting?
Sorry.
What has this chair ever done to you, bloody?
No.
You can get pregnant when you're having sex on your period.
Yeah, once you get pregnant, you can have periods even 2 or 3 months after.
Really, can you?
Yes.
Oh. And so we're not saying that it's when you're on your period and you have sex, you can't get pregnant.
Oh, by the way, that's also another one.
Apparently.
That's not true.
Yeah. I've never actually met anyone who has continued to have their period despite... Oh, actually, no, I have. I didn't know I was pregnant. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that on TLC.
My God.
Yeah. There are people who have had their period throughout the 9 months. And then it's like
they were
suddenly
pregnant.
A baby.
So now you're there like shaking, waiting for that second line to pop up, because now that's proof that you're not pregnant. It's not
actually.
It's not, and I don't need that. And also, you can definitely still have pregnant. You can still get pregnant when you have sex on your period.
Just one more reason not to have sex with your period.
Oh my God.
But I just feel like it's not something that I think about actively because we're on the coil. So it's just like anytime you have sex, it's just like you're not ideally.
But for me,
you're not getting pregnant.
It's like if I do have a pregnancy scare, which I have before on the coil, I expect that once that blue line shows, done, and my period comes, it's. We are not.
But little did you know.
Yeah.
But although in truth, it's like it's unlikely. You're way more likely for your period to not come. I would say like it's probably like 10% or less of people who like their period will continue. Yeah. So usually that's a good indicator. But also it's also dependent on how regular are your periods.
And we can't preach that. We can't preach that as fact anymore.
We just can't. That is not So if you know that you feel pregnant, get a pregnancy test. Every single time that I've been pregnant, the first sign that I've ever had is like my boobs just get very tender. Yeah. That's how I've just known this one. Yeah.
Up the sperm
duff. Passed.
Up the duff.
I'm definitely preggo for sure. Another sex myth that I have believed for a long time and that I think some people still believe is that slimmer people have better sex than bigger people. Yeah. That is a myth that I believe for a really, really long time. I
think you said something like this before.
Because of the basic facts is that when you're smaller, it's easier for you to maneuver your body, and when you're bigger, it's slightly harder for you to maneuver your body, which in itself is also a myth because there are lots of slimmer people who aren't able to maneuver their bodies or don't have as much flexibility, and there are bigger people who are able to. I've seen people on Instagram who are like huge, but they're doing like yoga, literally like legs in the air, things like that maybe a slimmer person wouldn't. What I now have come to believe is that one, confidence is everything. I feel like if you enter the sexual experience and already you're just like, oh babe, turn down the lights or whatever, you want to keep your bra on, or like you're just feeling conscious about what you imagine he is seeing, that already I feel like that's definitely going to reduce your enjoyment of the sexual experience. Also, that can happen whether you're big or you're small. If you lack the sexual confidence or you're not, you have a low sense of self-esteem or self-worth, that will definitely hinder your sexual pleasure capabilities in the situation.
Right. So there's something that just struck me when you said that. So one difference which I didn't know about like maybe smaller bodies versus bigger bodies is that, like, for example, if a man wants to move me, they just move me.
Exactly.
As opposed
just
to
be like, phew.
Right. Yeah. As opposed to maybe if you're not, they'll tell you.
Yes.
I was literally 2 weeks old 2 weeks ago. old when it's not necessarily,
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know, because the second you say it makes sense, but I didn't conceptualize that difference.
Exactly, because
At
you've always
all.
been small.
Yep.
Yeah. And you see, for me, I can't even imagine that. It's just like when I get up, I'll have to hear him say, or have to feel his hand like trying to turn me. And then I'll just be like, oh, we're turning. So then now I'll turn. Kind of thing. But yeah, I still think you can have really, really amazing sex when you're bigger. But also, I just feel like also your cardio, like your cardio capabilities, when I am going to the gym, when I am actively staying active and trying to like live healthy, I have better sex. Factually.
Period. Because you have energy.
You have energy, you can keep going, your core is tight. Do you know you need your core for a lot of these movements? Like sometimes it's like have you ever done this position of like he's sat up and then you're sat on him?
Like this.
Yeah.
So it's you
and it's
who's
like you need to, that requires a lot of core. Yeah. You need to hold.
Like when your legs are like now behind him like this, so it's you who's
girl. Ooh. Or not even if you're squatting and you. That's a lot. It's a lot of work. I feel like when I am going to the gym, it's definitely better and it's easier.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, Joe. Despite I guess I've always the way I've always known you is that you are a hard worker. I don't think you let your size be the thing that you work. So you may even work harder than me.
I think I do.
Think you do.
Yeah, I think I
because you're always talking about this like sit.
Yeah. Me always. I like the sitting. I like it so much.
You say that.
Yeah, it's just like I'm dominating you and
power.
That's it. Thank you. Yeah. There's a course on Beducated about sexual confidence, which traverses whether you're a slim person or you're a bigger person.
For sure.
And just like I think it's more about how you show up in the sexual experience and how that determines how well the sexual experience continues.
Yeah.
And I've seen actually a lot of men talk about this, about how the things that you as a woman imagine a guy is looking at, like, oh, can he see my stretch marks? Is he looking at how my boobs are hanging? They literally don't give a shit. They're just like, wow, I'm so happy to be here. This feels so good. Yeah. Literally, they're not thinking about the things you think they're thinking about.
Yeah.
Which is honestly such a relief.
Maybe about like 2 years ago, I decided that if you're here and I'm naked in front of you, I don't give a shit. I'm naked in front of you and you're worried about what? You're worried about what?
Exactly.
I don't care.
You're lucky to
men
be here,
and
sir.
Women should both have that confidence. If you're here and I'm naked in front of you, if we've gotten this far, I don't think I'm thinking about it. And let me tell you, and it's 100% true that confidence has nothing to do with your size, even though there are some elements that play a part.
Yeah.
I remember I was looking at some pictures of me. I think I was maybe 22 or 23 or something like that. We had gone on like this little beach holiday with me, my boyfriend then, and a couple of my friends, and I was wearing this red bikini. And then I used to just be like, oh my God, like, how do I look? Like, it's my stomach was
aboard, literally aboard.
It's up here.
Yeah,
it's
really a mental thing.
Up here, and for sure it's showing up.
Yeah.
Especially that, like me, I like having sex in light.
Me too.
I want you to see me.
I want it to be like, I don't want it to be like super bright. Like we don't want soft box lights. However,
the lights are on.
Yeah, however, the lights are on, exactly. Or I like having like our little lampshades on the side, like so it's like I can look into your eyes, And
I want you to see. I want you to see. And in fact,
yeah.
I want to see you doing it. That's a turn on for me,
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's there biting his lip. He's sweating. Relax, please. Listen, Lydia. She's single and it shows, honestly. Like but yeah, that's really nice. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
I actually feel like women in their 40s, that's where it's at. I cannot wait to get in my 40s.
People keep saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens in their 40s.
Yeah,
or do you know what, guys? Can we just say that women get better with time? Because clearly we're having a better time at every single stage.
Yeah. Because I just feel like, I feel like this next generation of like 20-year-olds are definitely generally more confident than we are. Because now,
by a mile,
these guys are at the age where it's like you can see plus size women represented in whatever. You can see super dark skinned women, disabled women represented in like magazines and TVs. So it's like, oh, I fit in. I'm like everyone else. Not like us, they were growing up. It's just like, oh, if you don't look like Cindy Crawford, you're ugly.
Definitely.
You're actually
more
ugly.
Like, I don't look like anyone, and that rocks. That's what they're thinking. Their difference is their power. I love that for them.
I love that for them. Yeah, but definitely as I get older, I do feel more of a, this is my body. I'm in my body. I'm happy to be here, and like allowing the other person to worship and enjoy my body as it is.
Yeah. No, for sure. Body confidence is where it's at.
1,000,000%.
So this is one I do still believe for sure that sex myth, and this is being busted by a study that was done, which proved that really there was no difference. But a sex myth that I definitely still believe is that condoms make sex less enjoyable.
Why are you saying that and you know it's true?
No, that's my belief, but apparently that's not true. And also some condoms actually...
Stop saying apparently. Have you recently...
No, see, that's a me. I'm talking for your...
Oh!
I'm talking for the masses out here. The masses. Yeah, that it's just something that we've created. A myth is something that's not a fact. Yeah.
But how can you say it's not a fact if that's what people have experienced?
Who has experienced? I think we decided that. No. We decided that when we're in the thrusts and he has to stop and put on a condom, yuck.
I disagree with what Lydia is saying. I definitely feel like anyone who has had sex with someone with a condom and without a condom will tell you that without a condom, it just feels better. There's something about skin like this rubbing on each other that feels better.
All it does is it feels different.
Yeah, better.
It feels different. But because we've decided that the skin to skin is the one that
we haven't decided. It's factual.
No,
first of all, I'm not trying to. Are you invalidating my experience?
I don't want to perpetuate.
I definitely don't want to perpetuate. Although I don't want to lie to people. I mean, we've even advertised condom, a condom brand here. Yeah. I definitely feel like it's.
According to the study that was done, the sex had no difference.
Forget that study. Let us know in the comments, guys. We know if you have had sex with a condom versus you haven't, you know that it feels different. In fact, the fact that the way God intended for sex to be had is just this person without rubber in between. This is an added thing that we've just decided, let's put this thing. There's
like
no way to feel the same.
God intended that way.
That's it. Exactly. So I would just say condoms are a fantastic idea because they are helping you to protect yourself against unwanted pregnancies and diseases. Do they feel the same? No.
Let me tell you, this is something which I've seen more than anything. In white culture or in Caucasian people, wearing a condom is normal.
Yeah.
That's what's normal. Right? So it's like, it's not a conversation, like it's not
about
a discussion.
It feels better, whatever. It's just like,
not,
obviously.
Yes, and it's not everyone for sure. There's definitely many white people who are just as careless. But in the black culture specifically, this fight against condoms, and it's not like I'm not part of it, guys. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate here because there's been a study.
She's definitely part of it. But it's not that I'm not part of it. She's definitely 100,000%. I can tell you as her close friend.
Yeah, we've just decided that that's how it is, and it's something that's actually hurting us. It's why there's so many ways that it's like people are not serious about STIs.
I think my personal
where I'm standing, where I'm standing, guys, is that I want to be part of the positive change. Okay, and I've actually thought the times when I've had sex with a condom, because it's not like I haven't had sex with a condom or whatever. Yeah. The times that I have, it's like maybe for him, the way it might feel is like it's different. But I was like, if I was used to this consistently, would I feel the same way?
That's the thing.
I don't know.
And for me, being part of a positive narrative around condoms is one, not telling the lie that it doesn't feel worse than wearing.
No, it feels
whatever.
different.
It definitely feels different. It definitely feels less pleasurable. Although if you're using one of those condoms which is has ribs and those 2 dots and whatnot, it can be like the climax condoms and whatnot. I feel the conversation around condoms should not be we are trying to compete with what it feels like when you have sex without a condom. It cannot compete. What I feel like the narrative just needs to be around, this is essential for you to protect yourself against diseases.
But that's the problem.
And unwanted pregnancies, and it's what's the right thing to do.
That is the problem.
But we cannot lie on a public platform.
The difference that you make it, I don't know if I feel the same difference. There's a difference. There's a reason why people are still out here
and
having
I think the difference
sex.
Is more for men.
I think so. I think that the difference is definitely more for men, us, the way we make it.
It's not just still the thing is just still entering
but
you.
But look at you with your mic shouting about the massive
on behalf of the men of this country. I want to speak up. I am speaking up on their behalf.
For sure. And it's because being something that we have not made ourselves be decide that this is what we do. For sure, it's a thing that it's a weird thing. So that as soon as you have sex with a condom, it's like there's a that is more of a problem really than actually the sensation itself.
You're right. And I feel like we need to get to a place as a society where it's just like it's a foregone conclusion. We already know we are going to use the condom. It's not like but maybe we should,
Many
whatever.
people
Just
have
the
that.
tip. No, it needs to be like for sure we are using the condom.
But how do we do that?
This is another sex myth. Believing men when they say just the tip, when you know for a fact there's no tip, that is just going to be just the tip.
I feel like you're the donkey though. You're the donkey in that situation.
The
Just
ass.
the tip.
Yeah, girls.
Just
I
the
feel like
tip.
there are people
I
who
believe
are
that when I was I
Yeah.
believe that he would just do just the tip.
Oh.
It never ended up.
I
being
feel
the
like
tip.
at some point we've all believed that. We've also all believed at some point that as long as he doesn't come in you, then you're gonna be safe against unwanted pregnancies. Not knowing that pre-cum can actually also
That's definitely
impregnate you.
one.
Yep, a lot of us don't think that, but it's
don't.
true.
Yeah.
Pre-cum can actually 100% impregnate you. I need
But
people
your
to know
swimmers
that.
need to relax. Jesus Christ. Wow. No, una overdo. Hey?
People's
Tell us,
swimmers are swimming.
did you get pregnant via pre-cum? Tell us right now,
yeah.
because sis, you are hard done by. You
Right.
pulled the short
I
straw.
actually know someone, a very close a close person in my life. I'll tell you later, yeah. But the man did not have sex to completion, and she still got pregnant. Yeah.
Wow.
Factually.
Jesus.
That happens.
Okay,
That one is talk about God trying to use you as an example.
He needs to have his sperm examined.
Examined
He
for
do,
just like wow.
For sure. Oh, this another sex myth which we've talked. If you're aroused, you shouldn't need lubricant, or if you're aroused, automatically you're wet. That's not true. No, it's not true. There's plenty of time I've been enjoying sex like crazy, but like ukuchini, it's not cooperating. We've talked about this before.
I was equally shocked because I sense I'm still very shocked right now.
Wetness is not always about like, oh, I'm feeling so good. So there's many reasons why my body is not cooperating that way. It doesn't always like get wet just because I'm aroused. It doesn't always work that way.
You know, that's so
or like maybe even like you start the sex, like you're aroused or whatever. You're still aroused as it goes on, but like maybe like the friction or whatever, many things are happening to your body that don't always allow you to be as lubricated. So just because you're aroused doesn't mean you don't need lubricant. You can always use, you can even always add more.
There's definitely a stigma around lubrication, I feel like.
Yeah?
I feel like I've especially even in, I don't know if it's just in African context or whatnot, but I feel like men take it as like am I not doing what I need to be doing for you to be wet?
This is what we're talking about, guys.
Yeah.
This is what one of the things that's making sex so difficult. Because when I'm talking to you about what's happening in my body, what you're hearing is, you're not good enough. This is not, you know,
and it has nothing to do with you. Nothing.
I have had wonderful sex, and maybe like coming to the end or whatever, I'm not as lubricated. If you've been drinking, if you've been smoking weed, there's many things that dry you up. Maybe you're just dehydrated, sis. Maybe take a cup of water
once in a while.
Cup of water once in a while, not every day soda. There's many reasons why.
Yeah.
And please, I release myself of that. However, guys, let's say after you have sex, sometimes he pulls out and is literally just like this white foam.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like my self-esteem literally is rooted on that.
On the whiteness.
On that white foam. It's just like, wow, what a situation we just had. Yeah. And it's not always there. And I enjoyed it and it's fantastic. But that sometimes it feels too much. It feels too good to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not
feels too much like
necessarily a white foam. For me, it's like there's a sliminess. Just like a sliminess. That I feel like there's the wetness of like I'm wet. Then there's the wetness of I've had an orgasm, which is like, it just feels thicker and more like slimy kind of. I need it to be that one.
Yeah.
If it's not that one, it's just like, oh yeah, this was nice. But it's not like that.
That
and this is the
one.
issue where we started with at the beginning of the episode, saying about these orgasms. This is the problem.
We are putting too much of who we are without giving our bodies the credit they deserve, because it's different. Every situation is different. Maybe you're stressed that day. There's more that goes into the sexual experiences that you're having that we really don't give credit for, and especially women. Yeah, our bodies are
absolutely. They're going through a lot. Maybe it's even a hormonal thing. Maybe you've just finished your period and like whatever. There are women who genuinely just have dry vaginas. By the way, there are people who do, and we should just like allow for that to happen. Before I met Zach, or before I met maybe my last two partners, before even Zach, I used to just believe that I had a dry vagina because my vagina was just always dry. that was just
But were
like
you aroused?
that's the thing. It's like I was, but I feel like I was too much in my head. And I think now at some point I'd already internalized the fact that I am just not one. I'm one of those girls who just don't get wet. So now it's like I'm already think like now once the sexual experience has started, I'm already thinking about how I'm going to make an excuse for what's happening, almost as if like I should be ashamed. Like, I'm so sorry. I want to apologize to you that my vagina is not wet enough, and like you're doing a really great job, but it's just, this is just the way that it is, kind of thing. But now as I got closer to 30s, when I was just like, oh, actually, when I'm here and I'm enjoying, and with Zach, I've never felt dry vagina. So it's just kind of like, oh, I guess I was just maybe I'm present,
more,
exactly.
like,
I'm
in
relaxed.
your body.
I'm relaxed. Actually, the being relaxed is key for me personally, and I'm guessing for a lot of people. They're just being relaxed and just like, oh, I'm going to let things unfold and like happen as they are, as opposed to thinking, okay, now we're going to change position. Is he having fun? Oh my God, is the bed creaking too much? Is there whatever? Yeah, no, you can't be in your head with sex.
Let me tell you, the first time I squirted with, like, intentionally, I was made to squirt intentionally, I realized that I am not as relaxed during sex as I always thought I was. It was a shock to me, by the way, a big shock. Because the relaxing part is a big thing. And I think I talked about this here, where it's like, if you feel like you're about to pee during sex and you didn't feel that, you might be about to squirt. And then now, because maybe your partner or you aren't aware of what's happening, you think that you're going to come.
Because their default is to be like, stop. Because you don't want to pee on yourself.
But Han, it's not that for sure.
Yeah.
On Beducated, there's actually a course on how to squirt. Why had we not done this before?
That's the question.
Because maybe we had known, and it's going to walk you through like what exactly brings about that experience. Majority of the times we say it's like, oh, if somebody's having the best time, that's when they are having it. But sometimes it's more about relaxation. It's about where your mind is at. So if you want to see exactly how you can be somebody who squirts, there's a course on Beducated there for you.
I love that. Don't you feel like when you had that squirting experience, you there's like a sense in which you're like, I didn't know that this was also for me. Do you know how sometimes you see things like sexual experience, you're just like, wow, so happy for that person that they're able to squirt. And it's like, we've already internalized that I'm not a squirter.
So what I had squirted once when I think I was like 24 or something like that. And it was just, whoa, like what has happened, you know? And then after that, I just thought, like, I guess some people do and some people don't. You're right. So when I was, and it was, whoa, I was like, wow, this can happen for me, and I love that.
It's like that as well. Yeah, I feel like even the older that we get, there can be a way in which you're just like, you think that you have already explored all the things that there are to explore sexually. Trust me, once you get on Beducated, you'll realize you have only just but scratched the surface. That's one of the things. Like when I go on there, I just feel like, oh, there's also this one. I can also try this one. I can also do this massage.
It's more that's possible for me.
It's possible for you as well. I just feel like you need to be intentional about doing it. If me in my 20, how many years before I had my first orgasm, I also had already decided that I had already gone online and seen like 30% of women just don't orgasm from like penetration. So I was just like, oh, I guess it's just not for me. Nope, it was for me.
Can I ask a question? Do you think that people pleasers have worse sex?
Yes. 1,000,000%.
Done.
Yeah, and therapy
so
Joe
if
can tell
anything that's going to inspire you
to go
and deal with your people pleasing,
absolutely, yeah,
it's that.
Because let me tell you one thing, as a people pleaser, one myth that I had internalized is that a recovering people pleaser, yes, is that when my partner over focuses on me in the sexual experience, that would make me really uncomfortable, like really uncomfortable. It's like,
been through this,
and it's just like, it's too much focus on me. Yet men will be comfortable to lie there and for you to give him a blowjob for like literally 30 minutes. 30 is a lot. 10 to 15.
Me, sometimes it feels like 30.
It feels like it's a lot. Your throat is telling the story of the work that you're doing. Yeah, but I would always just feel like, okay, now it's been like a whole 5 minutes and it's just focused on me. No. I need to do something for him now. Like now we need to. It could not just be me and you're eating me out until I come. It's like, if you've been eating me out for like 2 minutes, I'm just like, I know you must really want to enter. And like now we should just continue. Yeah, I know. And all this in just like the story of being a recovering people pleaser. But we have learned,
we have. Yeah. I think I got out of my people pleasing slowly. And so like a lot of my sexual experiences in my late 20s were like I could sit back. However, now I don't know how I was going to articulate who, but anyway, there's a partner who I was like, I've never had someone be so devoted and so me focused. And I think it's because he was a people pleaser.
All right.
He was a people
But it
pleaser.
worked out for you, didn't it?
That
It
people
worked out, girl.
You know.
Wow.
So
yeah.
I sat back, and I've never. Wow, I still dream of him.
How are you just able to just sit back? You know,
this.
No, head tilted back.
Like this. And I'm not getting up. I'm not going to get the towel. I'm not figuring out who's going to eat. You're massaging me to sleep.
You know, actually,
and then I sleep, and then you stay, and you figure who's gonna massage you. Let me tell you, I was in my bag.
That's worth it. And you know, let me tell you, yeah, because being a people pleaser is hard. You actually feel like you are the one responsible for ensuring that everyone involved has a pleasant experience.
Forbid.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I want you. Is he comfortable?
No.
Are you okay? Like, yeah, are we? Lord, read us. If there's any people pleaser watching this video,
baby,
we have claimed over your life. We come against the spirit of people pleasing.
No.
Yeah.
You deserve for someone
more.
You know what? You're worthy of the sacrifices that people make for you. So lay back. Lay back.
I needed someone to tell me that when I was 25. I needed someone to tell me that when I was 25.
Well, I'm telling you, if you're 25 still, or maybe you're even 35 and you still haven't figured that out, whatever sacrifices people make, whether it's financial, whether it's time, whether it's effort, you're worthy of those sacrifices. So stop acting like you don't deserve them.
I actually had an exact thought like this morning. And I was just like, you know, when you go to therapy and you find yourself responding differently in a situation that before therapy would have responded differently. This has nothing to do with sex. I was on the phone with Zach, so I called him and he picked up, but he was kind of like, his voice was kind of muffled and we had a short conversation. Then I was like, oh, why is your voice so low? Like you don't sound like yourself. Then he's like, oh, because I just stepped out of the meeting to pick up your call. I thought it was important to, yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to prioritize the call. And I was just like, previous me would just have been like, felt so bad. Like, I'm so sorry that I interrupted your meeting. I'm so sorry that you had to step away. Next time I'll send a message so you know that it's not urgent or you can call me back. But instead I was just like, oh, thank you. Thank you for stepping out to talk to me. I really appreciate you prioritizing this phone call.
Because you deserve it.
Right? Because I deserve it. Guys, let me tell you,
every sacrifice, everything.
This
is something which I thought when it was like around how my friends showed up for me during my Guka's passing, and because it was the longest period before someone is buried ever. I was like, I could see the amount of time and effort and the checking up on me and the coming to visit me. Like, people were spending their time and their whatever, and I was like, I deserve this. I deserve this. I appreciate it so much, but I deserve this. I can't live my life believing that only I should make sacrifices because when I go hard for my friend,
and you never
I
think
feel
about
like
it,
nothing.
That's the thing.
But when it's somebody else making that sacrifice for me, I have to like breathe through and do breathing exercises around receiving the sacrifices. No,
absolutely not. And that's a lesson in self-worth, like building out self-worth.
And you gotta breathe through it though. Because if you weren't taught, if you are taught that you are in an inconvenience in some kind of way, you're gonna struggle with that. But you are absolutely worthy of the sacrifices that people make for you.
The concept of people spending money on me is really difficult for me.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't struggle to spend money on other people because I just feel like I have enough and I can spend. But I thought of someone spending on me, I just feel like, except if it's my man, but if it's not my man, it's just kind of just like, what?
No, I get it. It's a thing. It's a thing which we feel like we are like other people are going too far for us. But why? When
why
it's the
do we
other
feel
way?
like,
And I actually thought of myself, when I make sacrifice for my friend, do I think like,
in fact, it never even crosses your mind like, oh no,
it's
but Joe is just until here, so it can't go. You never think that.
You don't. Time, effort,
thank you.
All spent. But when it's you receiving it, it's a problem.
Yeah.
God forbid.
God forbid. We come against that spirit. Yes.
Do you have more?
Yeah. Another sex myth that I believed is that masturbation is the enemy of good sex. And that if you masturbate or you self-pleasure, then automatically it will lead to a decrease in how much you're able to experience pleasure with your partner or how much sex you want to have or keep having. I now recognize that masturbation within certain limits, in terms of like how often...
Limits you don't have.
I have. Excuse me. I feel like within certain limits, I feel like masturbation can be a really positive addition to your sex life, even if you're in a committed relationship. whenever I post a sex toy, anything, even I talk about sex toys anywhere on my platform, which I try not to because my platform just doesn't seem like the place.
Yeah.
But people are just like, Murigi, can I ask, but you're married. Why do you have this? But you're married. Why do you do this? Many reasons. First of all, your partner is not always available for you to have sex when you are in need. Secondly, I just feel like these
Married women are allowed to experience pleasure without their husbands.
Thank you. Say that a bit louder, because a lot of people don't believe that, and I genuinely believe that. I feel like if it reaches a point where you are not wanting to be with your partner for many different reasons, like maybe when you have sex with your partner you don't orgasm, but when you masturbate you do, then now you just start feeling, oh, why am I even having sex to begin with? I feel like that's dangerous. Once you start feeling like now you're choosing this one, the masturbation, over having a sexual experience with your partner, then you know there's a problem, and there's probably a conversation that you need to be having that you are not having.
So I've had this view as you have yourself.
as I have.
As you have.
Personally.
However, what I've realized is that generally speaking, when I'm in a relationship, and I guess you've said, maybe I'll know when I have kids, whatever. I tend to feel like I want to leave more of that to my partner. Only because it's a slippery slope.
It's the slippiest, slopest.
Because when I start realizing that my rose is quicker,
guys,
faster, more efficient, and requires no head banging.
Yeah.
No, my head being... It requires no one thumping their gorilla body on me.
Yeah.
And the pleasure actually feels even more potent. You see, when now you come to bed and you're like, I'm like,
leave me alone, because already you've masturbated thrice that day. He doesn't know that you have orgasmed thrice before he got home. While he was still at work.
Now he thinks
Lydia
you're mad.
was also working.
Now he thinks you're mad.
But it's just like, no, I just don't.
You know?
It's a very slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. And because of that reason, I am actually, hear me out, considering dialing it down. Actually, it's not, I'm considering I've dialed it all the way down. Yeah. And because, first of all, even as a single lady, when now you're like, I'm dating, so you're talking to people, nini, you feel less reluctant to be proactive in your dating life.
Because you want to actually have a sexual experience with a person.
No, I'm saying I feel less reluctant to be responding to those messages and and being
when
more...
you have. First of all, I don't know if I'm happy that I was introduced to the rose.
I don't know if I'm happy. I don't know if I'm happy.
Like now I refuse to even fathom life without the rose. I refuse to. However, when I first got it, it was literally a daily occurrence, and I'm talking daily. Now I have limited myself to like maybe twice a week. I feel like that's sufficient, right?
Is that true?
Yeah. Honestly. And in fact, when
I
I'm on
can
my period,
put all my money that isn't.
Ovulation week, obviously, we are not counting that one. Ovulation week is different. Everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
Duh.
It's a fact.
Except if you're Lydia, because Lydia is more horny on her period, right? You say you're more...
No, I say that on my ovulation, I'm not.
You're not so
feeling
active.
sexual.
Yeah. I really feel super
most
sexual,
women are.
like around my ovulation.
Which would make sense.
Exactly. But I feel like there's definitely ways that masturbation can be, or self-pleasure can be incorporated even in experiences with your partner.
Together.
Exactly. Mutually. That can be a really, really nice thing. Or even like recording yourself and sending to him like, oh, just warming up for you or something like that. Yeah. Like, so it's less of a, this is me and this is you. And then now it's like we're together. It's like now you're also part of this. So it's not like a thing you're sneaking behind to do. There's a course on Beducated about sex toys for women. Yeah. Highly recommend you check that out. I'm sure the rose is one of them.
If you're going to explore that.
If you're going to explore, exactly. Or if you're comfortable doing it. And if you're not comfortable doing it, consider querying why the thought of sex toys for women makes you uncomfortable. I would say that.
Yeah?
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like a lot, especially in Africa,
there's some misogyny behind it, for
exactly,
sure.
really demonized. And now it's just like, oh my God. Remember how there was a time we did an episode on masturbation, it really trended a lot.
It was like a really big
thing. It was like a really big, and I was just like, is it really that? And considering it's something that I feel like most people, as you're growing up like in your teens and almost everybody does it.
Majority of culture is not about what's happening closed door. It's about the hypocrisy.
The hypocrisy of just being like, what?
No, this is not what we want to show. This is not what we want to present. But really, this is what we are doing.
Relax.
So there's this, I'm always plugging podcast. This other podcast, again, Diary of a CEO, is like one of the best podcasts ever. Obviously, after TMI.
Duh.
Anyway, his name is Arthur C. Brooks. In the podcast, I'll share the link. Is it's called Number One Happiness Expert, and one of the things he talked about as far as what makes things or what brings more fulfillment or things like that is when experiences are shared. So one of the things that masturbation removes is the shared experience, and he doesn't frown upon masturbation fully. But he says, as far as like, you know, the quality and the happiness that it is that we're trying to target, what you want to do is add people into the experience and then memory, so that now it's like it has a more fulfilling experience. So he, although I was reconsidering anyway, he added to what sometimes masturbation does, because it's like a lone experience.
I get it.
Yeah. So maybe you watch it and hear what he says.
We'll put it down in the caption below. But I completely get that, and I feel like every time that I have sex with my partner, we grow closer in a way that is just like you can't really explain. It's just like you feel closer and closer and closer and closer, and the more we do that, the better it is for our relationship, obviously. So anything that I would be doing which is taking away from that, obviously wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, so you've got to find a dance. And there's a lot of times when people are talking to us about addiction as far as masturbation or porn, that's an addiction like any other, and you're going to need professional help for it. You're going to need to go to speak to someone, to a therapist. And guess what? People say that, you know, you feel ashamed. If you can share it to TMI that you have it, you can share to a therapist. That's all I'm saying.
You can,
I'm not saying speak to your friend or maybe your boyfriend. Speak to a therapist, because they are designed to hear as many crazy things happening as possible. So what you think is so crazy to them is actually not. So if you are afraid that you have got a masturbation or a porn addiction, you need to seek help, and you need to seek help only so that it doesn't start destroying your life. Because if you find yourself like you're taking time, break
you're
time,
at work,
you're
going to the bathroom so that you can
to watch porn, to masturbate. If it's starting to take over your life, you know you have a problem. So please don't feel shame with it, because everything is always fun until it's not. Even drinking, it was a good time until
now
it's
you're an
not. So you don't know when the line lies between this was for enjoyment and addiction. And if you feel like you've crossed that line, just now what you can do, what you're in control of, is to not cross that line too far. So now just try and seek help in this situation.
It can be really difficult actually to, especially if like you start when you're single. So now because you're single, you just like doing it all the time. And then now this person comes into your life, you imagine now you're going to be able to stop because now you're having sex, but now you can't. Now you're not. Now
and
you're
it's the
just
thing you're hiding from him as well.
Yeah, no, it definitely shouldn't be like that. And I think maybe it's this element of not necessarily knowing like when, or not necessarily being able to stop yourself before it becomes now it's crossed over and now it's like taking over your life. Because some of the DMs that we've seen, I'm actually just like, I feel so sorry for the person, because this is someone who's saying, I want to stop, but I literally just cannot stop. It's like a constant high you're chasing, because that high of the self-induced orgasm, it's like it's within my power to give myself this pleasure, and you're telling me to not do it.
And it's like, who is it hurting?
Yeah, exactly.
But it hurts yourself when you do it too much.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It does. It hurts you. It hurts your relationship. Any addiction is going to be harmful to yourself and to other relationships around you.
Absolutely.
So take it seriously. This is not something to just be like, oh, yeah, it's not. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And wherever, if you can, please seek help for it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Well, that was really, really good, guys.
Have we done one about like sex directly in a while? No, I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, but talking
I
about
feel
sex
like I've
just comes
shared
so
a lot.
naturally. Exactly.
I've shared a lot today.
Thank you, guys. Please share with us some of the sex myths you guys have believed or still believe, or if there's something that you right now are wondering, is this a myth or is it actually true? Tell us in the comments, and then everyone else can also respond, and then we can have a conversation about it. I actually feel like this is one of those that I would we could have a conversation about on our stories, just for people to keep sharing, like, what is a myth you've believed? Is it true or is it not? Once a year, your condom that Lydia has tried to convince us.
Yeah, no, the studies show that it's literally
it was
just
a
the
study.
same.
A study.
Yeah.
The one you referenced was a study, not
who
the
you're talking
studies.
is a culture. A culture is the one that's saying that this is the way that it is.
No, it's
culture.
all humans who have ever.
It is. I feel like the difference is not as big as we make it. It's like something we've decided. Like, it's just horrible and it's just so different. And especially for women, girls.
No, let's be serious.
Girls.
Yeah, but you see, because many women are people pleasers and you've been raised to believe that your role in the sexual experience is to please him, that's why
it's
it feels like, so it's like if he puts the condom, then he starts getting soft. You're just like, no, okay, I need to now sacrifice my sexual health. I need to risk being pregnant and having an STI and chlamydia,
clam,
so that he can have a positive sexual experience.
You see, we
no.
can do something to turn some of these around.
Absolutely,
and don't forget that we have got a 50% discount.
Please.
On Beducated annual subscription if you use the code TMI podcast. So make sure you take advantage of it if you're watching this in April. If you're watching it after April, it will be the usual 40%, which is still fantastic, by the way. Yeah. And that discount is locked for life. If you just want to peruse through for 24 hours, you get to have it for free, see what you like, what you don't like. And after you commit, you get 14-day money back guarantee, just in case you change your mind. So make sure you take advantage of this. 50% doesn't always come around.
It doesn't.
Often. So if you're watching
significant.
This is it, guys.
Exactly.
This is it.
Please go on there, guys. Improve your sex life.
Please.
Believe that it's possible for you to keep having amazing sex, or for you to start having amazing sex, whatever age you are. I wish that I wasn't in my 30s before I started realizing that actually I am capable of having incredible sex, and it can be about me, you know?
I may have gone too far if I discovered that too early.
You're right.
Who would we have been? If we
maybe
had
it's for the best.
Yeah, maybe it's for the best. Maybe we need to mature.
Yeah, for
a
us
bit
to
more.
Actually, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we want you guys to, like, we would love that the people who come after us and those of us who watch us who are younger, by the way, it's not everyone who is younger. Like somebody actually told me, they're like, you guys always talk about like everyone is under your age, but there are many people who are older. Either way, we want more people to make it a normal way of life, to orgasm and to have pleasurable experiences with people who care about you.
Exactly.
And that's a mission.
That is our mission. That would be our mission as TMI.
That's our mission.
Having good sex.
Yes, let's normalize that.
Let's normalize.
But yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.